Welcome to Boulevard TV. Today I'm sitting here in this beautiful wine cellar at Elms Winery Estate together with Angela Leon. And I'm pretty sure I said that wrong because it's Elms Estate Winery. Is that correct?
Elm Estate.
Elm Estate. That's a very interesting, unique name. How did that come to fruition?
Sure, it's also maybe hard to pronounce, but elm,
Yeah.
A-I-L-M, is the first letter of the Irish tree language. It's an ancient Ogham language that it originated in Ireland, where the Stuart family is from. And also being a tree language, it really does honor the history of the Stuart family as horticulturalists.
That's unbelievable for you to go back, like Stuart's family has been in the Okanagan since 1908. That's right. That's unbelievable. And they're very tight together and honoring the family and tradition and horticulture, I guess so.
Yes, and then also building something for the future. So this project really it pays homage to the past, but also really is a new project that will continue to evolve as the years go by with the next generation coming into the business.
Mm-hmm. So I did a little bit of research on the winery. So let me see if I get this right. In 2015, there was a tree nursery that was converted into a winery.
Yes, yes.
And then in 2016, the first grapes, Chardonnay and Pinot Noirs were planted or harvested?
Yes. Yeah, so the property, so it's a 200-acre estate, has been in the Stuart family since 1950, and it operated as a tree nursery, which also connects back to the tree language.
Yeah.
It operated as a tree nursery until 2015, and at that point the Stuart family converted it into vineyards, started the process of converting that land into vineyards in South Kelowna. And then eventually we were able to make wines and start to trial. But the varieties that were planted there, because the property is a little bit further away from Okanagan Lake, it's a little bit higher elevation, the viticulturalists thought it would be well suited to plant varieties that are used to make traditional method sparkling wine.
Yeah, I love that because I'm a big sucker for champagne, and Chardonnay, Pinot Noir,
and Pinot Meunier.
Pinot Meunier.
Yes,
so
yes.
you blend it all together in that blend, like traditional champagne.
Traditional method. So champagne is only made from Champagne, the region. So this is traditional method.
But
Okanagan.
it's the three grapes.
But
still.
it is, yes. And so in fact, we planted all grapes, but when the winemakers got together to make the initial blends after the fermentation, our inaugural release is Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. So the Pinot Meunier didn't make the cut into the initial blend. And then also, since we've had many vintages since then, we found that the Chardonnay is really expressive. And so we are releasing a Blanc de Blanc as well.
Oh my God, this is unbelievable. I love that. 100% Chardonnay, am I correct?
100% Chardonnay, yes.
Oh
yes.
God,
yes.
I wish I would drink still. These are the moments where I'm like, oh God damn it.
We taste and spit too, and that's the process.
This is why I had to stop drinking because I can't do, like if I drink, I rather drink. And this is actually one of the things I miss the most, drinking sparkling wine and really good
wine.
one.
We taste. This is a very responsible beverage in that pairing with food and wine, and it's part of a healthy Blue Zone lifestyle.
Yeah. So Angela, you are not a native Okanagan person. Where are you from?
I grew up in Winnipeg. I spent time in Toronto, and then I arrived here in the Okanagan Valley for the next chapter of my life.
The next chapter. Congratulations. And
Thank you.
You got remarried a couple of years ago.
Such a privilege to be here in the Okanagan.
Yeah, and living. I go back and forth between Kelowna and Victoria, and the Okanagan is stunning.
Yeah, and it's special for the wine industry. It's such a great time to be here, an emerging wine region. I've had the privilege of working in the wine industry for almost 3 decades, and what's happening
here... You're not that
here,
old.
I actually am. Which is why I know how special it is to be here in the Okanagan. And it's still early. We've been here for, VQA has been around for almost 35 years, VQA wines, the quality production. But really, when you think about the wine world being around for thousands of years and other regions having hundreds of years of history, we're still learning, and even at the site at Elm Estate, we're still learning what will be the best varieties for the future, and so we'll continue to refine as we move forward.
It's interesting when I have very close friends that live in Germany. They right in vineyards right on the Mosel. So the mountains are wrapped with wines everywhere. It's unbelievable. But what I find in Europe is the specific that they have found out what grapes do really well in what region. And I feel Quailsgate actually has mastered it more than others. I find to stay specific to grapes in a certain region instead of like, let's just see what happens here. They, over like, it's almost over 100 years that the family is here. I guess they figure it out between now and then.
Yes, but even here in the Okanagan Valley, you do need to experiment in order to and then innovate from there. And so take the knowledge, you know, and that's why it's so interesting with the Stewart family having now moving into the fourth generation, joining the business, is that there is knowledge, and so there's knowledge that can be passed down to the next generation. And so in the north, as you said, Quailsgate is doing really well with the vineyards for Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, and really making benchmark Okanagan Pinot Noir and Chardonnay for Okanagan. But if you were in the south in a Soyuz, you're probably into different varieties there because the climate does change quite a bit from the north to the south.
So the family, well, you working for a family.
Yes.
Like that's the fourth generation. How is that like?
Oh, the Stewart family, they're incredible stewards of the land. They have a vision for the future. It's also a privilege to work with a family business that has a long, I guess, they have a vision of, you know, what they want to do for the next generation and for the future. And so they really care for the land. And I think that's really important in the wine industry.
Well, I think it speaks a lot because one of the sons was a politician.
Yes, yeah.
Or is he still?
So Ben Stewart, who started Quailsgate, has worked with the BC provincial government.
Yeah, that alone is very hard because I'm not a government type of a person. So like dealing with all the politics, the communication, it takes dedication and it takes patience actually more than anything.
And a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
The Stewart family, they're farmers, and so they're hard
Well,
working.
you must appreciate that coming from Winnipeg, having that farming life.
Well, I have a farming background as well. Both sides of both my parents grew up in farms, and so yes, I do appreciate, and I think that's why I love working with the Stewart family, because there's, I don't know if it's shared values, you know, of farming, but I really,
But what made you get into wine? Like instead of grain, like you could have made vodka, actually.
Well, I was working in the industry and communications, and in the beverage alcohol space. But wine is something that's really special. It's really the grip of the grape. You know, you start to learn and you get curious. You learn a little bit more, and the process is so complex. You know, from planting vineyards as they did at Elm Estate. 10 years ago, or they started 10 years ago until now, it's such a long process. And so I think there's an appreciation of, you know, what you plant into, you know, is this Pinot Noir going to be in a rosé wine? Is it going to be a red wine? Is it going to be a sparkling wine? There's just so many possibilities. And so I really appreciate the process of farming from vineyard and getting wine into the glass, sometimes 10 years later. So,
but this has been a big passion project for you too. Like you've been very much invested from the very beginning.
Well, it's really, and Tony Stewart, the CEO, when I joined, this is really a vision also, and so it was just a privilege to work with him on this project.
So now from the grapes came together, the planning, like here we're looking at the finished product, which is like, hey, there it is. But take me through the process in between. Like this must be very labor intensive. Although it's like we just looking at the end result, but the planning, the negotiating, the logo, the history, like you were sharing earlier.
The blending of the wines, you know, that's a labor of love. Traditional method sparkling, you know, there's lots of sparkling wines that are out there in the world, but traditional method sparkling, as you mentioned, it originated in Champagne. So traditional method is you harvest the grapes, you press the grapes, you ferment the grapes, and then the winemakers blend, and they do different trials, and that's, you know, months in that process, and then eventually they bottle the blended wine, and it goes through a secondary fermentation, and that's really where you get those. Well, you get the signature fine bubbles, and you also get the layers and layers of flavors from the secondary fermentation in the bottle, and then after, in this case, 40 months on lees, which is the yeast from the fermentation. when they decide that's complete, that's when we actually bottle it and package it, and we get it ready to release.
Why don't we just have a look what the bubbles look like?
Yes, let's do that.
Let's go.
Just open a bottle. So this is our Blanc de Blanc.
Yeah, so 100% Chardonnay.
100% Chardonnay, yes. And as I mentioned, the tree language it's actually featured on all of the bottles. So in this case, this is the word family. The tree language, Om, is written from the ground up. So these are the letters in the word family. So we've tried to translate tradition in a subtle way in the...
in an encrypted way.
Yes, well, it's,
Very,
you need to have something to discover, right?
Yeah.
So, yes.
So now we're putting you here on the spot. Like, let's rip it open.
I know.
And are you gonna go crazy, or are you gonna like?
Well, we don't have a saber. Do you bring your saber?
No. Actually, I never did that. I never savored a champagne.
Well, we need to do that.
Actually, we should.
Actually, I think we will when we launch this officially.
My God. When is the official launch party?
Next week.
Oh my God!
Yes.
We gotta get on this.
Yes.
Like
so
lickety spit.
For holidays, we wanted to have the sparkling, the bubbles ready for the holidays. Also, this is the logo.
Don't point it on me. I'm like, you're gonna shoot it at my face.
I was just going to show you the logo here because this is the 4 family members of the Stewart family with the first letter of the elm, and then all bound together by strong family roots.
I feel like just that putting the logo together and the branding must have been very labor intensive.
It was. It takes time, and you want to do it right, and so not labor intensive. Like I said, it's a passion project. So.
Yes, ma'am. There we go.
There we have the sparkling, and
let's
take a look in the.
Oh my God. Yes, ma'am.
So those, as we mentioned, are the signature fine bubbles in the bottle. What does it smell like?
Fuck. I miss drinking.
I'll try it for you.
Why don't you try it?
I will try it for you.
God, this is.
Yeah, just layers and layers of flavor, that toasty brioche, and
you get like I got like apricots. I'm getting bananas, like banana flavors. It's delicious. Yeah. Go. This is how you want to start the morning.
Delicious.
Oh God,
yes.
I'm very. I am envious of you. Rest assured.
And great acidity as well in Okanagan wines, and specifically from this site. The wines have this really beautiful racy acidity, but then again with all those toasty brioche flavors. So delicious.
You're like, look at you. You smile right now. You're like, this is one of the things I always love on, like initially with any sparkling wine that has traditional method. It puts an instant smile on your face. Like, look at you. Like,
it's very rewarding, and I think it's very rewarding. And also, I think with any wine, anyone that's involved in the wine industry, winemakers, there's so much passion that goes into making, from harvesting the grapes into making the wine, into packaging the wine, into sharing it with others. It's. I think that it puts a smile on a lot of people's face because you appreciate all the hard work that's gone into it.
So this is a fairly exclusive wine.
Yes, but we have a whole portfolio coming. So this is our inaugural release. We have our Reserve Brut. We have our Blanc de Blanc, because we just opened and tried. And we have Elm Connemara. And so the Connemara is a Merlot Cabernet blend.
That's this one.
And that's this one.
Yeah. What's the blend? Cabernet?
It's Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon.
Nice.
And then we have other wines that are aging in the cellars. So we have a full portfolio of sparkling wines. We have 4 in total. So in the future, we'll have a rosé, sparkling rosé brut, and then we'll have another brut that will come out. So
my wife will love this.
There's more to come.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
So where do you guys retail them then? Is this more like at the estate winery, or is this going to be?
So we have our winery, but we don't have a tasting room at the moment. So we have some special events that where we'll have the opportunity to share the wines. People can try the wines.
I better get an invite.
And
I better get one.
You will get an invite. And then we also have our website. So it's elmestate.com. AILM. estate.com, and once people join a mailing list, they'll have access to the wines.
And what's the price point on that? Is that a secret, or is it?
No, it's not a secret. So as I mentioned, these wines take years. years and years to come together. So we have, these are our flagship wines, the Reserve Brut and the Connemara. And the sparkling portfolio, this is $85, so actually a bargain when you compare it to champagne. And then our Blanc de Blanc is $65, and then we have some other wines that will round out the portfolio.
Hold on. There's 100% Chardonnay, Blanc de Blanc, for $60.
65, yeah.
65.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because I think Veuve Clicquot is a blend, and it's like 75 or 78.
I think that's the one thing that sometimes in the Okanagan, we look at Okanagan wineries. When you start to taste these wines, as we have every year since we've been making them, we taste them against the best in the world. And when we taste them, we see the value that the Okanagan is bringing, and that's why it's so exciting to be making wines in the Okanagan Valley.
This is a very, very good price point, actually, I find. I can't wait to have my wife actually drink some of this.
All right, well, we'll give her an invite as well.
Well, if you invite me, I will only come with her because she's the one that actually has to drink it. So now, where do you want to take this to the next level? Like, you are the lady in charge. Well,
there's many people on the team. Yes, there's many people.
But I'm not interviewing many people. I'm interviewing you.
Yes,
and so you have the driven vision where you want to take it, including Tony Stewart as well. So where do you want to take this on the global level?
Well, we are looking at keeping this very local. And as I mentioned, there's still lots of experimentation being done. There's still lots of work in the vineyard in terms of what's going to be right for the future. There's lots of things to consider. So we'll just take our time. We'll continue to experiment. And so it's going to be a secret for the Okanagan in the short term.
So how many cases? Is that a secret too?
Well, no, it's not actually a secret. We made 330 cases.
Oh, so it is very limited.
It's very small. So guys,
jump on the website and order the few.
That was our first, and so we'll have these wines available. So probably for the next 5 years, we will keep it very local here. We'll sell it at Old Vines Restaurant at Quailsgate. That will be one place, and a few restaurants.
My God, I love that restaurant.
And so if there's a few restaurants, you might be able to find it in BC, but it won't go outside of the province in the short term.
So you want to keep it within the family, actually.
Well, within the BC family.
The BC family, that's exactly what I mean.
Yeah, and then we'll continue to learn as we release more wines. And then we do also, if you join the mailing list, we'll be planning a number of different events. As I said, we really believe in great food. It goes with great wine, and so the Okanagan Valley has such incredible produce, and so this is an area where we can pair the wines and food together at events, and so we will continue to have a number of different events where we'll bring our culinary expertise together with our winemaking expertise and share that with.
God, I can't wait. Actually, I can still enjoy the food component, but the smell on this one is unbelievable. When I used to drink wine, I'm always a big red wine drinker.
Oh, well, we should open it and smell that wine as well.
It is actually. I think the last time I was here with Joanna, we had I think we opened up this bottle, or she gave me one, and then I think my wife drank it, and unbelievable. So you definitely have launched an amazing product that's coming out. We're going to have the party next week, the first launch party.
Yes.
What day is it exactly?
November 7th.
November 7th.
Yes, and it's going to be at Aqua Boat Club.
Okay.
So quite interesting. It's about 5 minutes away from the vineyard. So as I said, we don't have a tasting room open.
Also, the vineyard is in the mission area?
South Kelowna.
In South Kelowna. Oh God, that's
near Crawford Estates. Yeah.
Oh God, that's.
It's actually it's adjacent to Stewart Road.
Oh.
So there you go.
No pun intended. No, I don't actually live far from there. Are you guys going to have tours as well on the winery, or is there? What's happening there? We'll see
where this goes. It's this is still very new. So we're talking about these wines before they're even released. So everything at the website will be the place to find out more information as we move forward.
Okay. Well, then I can't wait to see the event next week. I'll very much look forward to it.
We look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you so much. That was fun. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.